Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of the Talking Football podcast. I'm absolutely delighted to say we're joined on the line this week by well-renowned physio, the likes of Sheffield Wednesday, England, you name it. It's Alan Smith. Alan, thank you very much for coming on the podcast.
It's a pleasure.
Before we look back at your career, Alan, of course, coronavirus at the moment affecting everyone in terms of yourself and your family. Are you keeping safe and well?
Yes, we are. Thank you very much, Derek.
Excellent. Fantastic stuff. And of course, the Euro's on at the moment. Alan, have you been watching it? How do you rate England's chances this year?
Yeah, every night, as everybody's doing, yes. England got a chance, yeah. Yes, have got a definite chance. I saw the Italy game last night.
Yeah. And
I must say they're a decent side. Wales, sadly, were knocked out heavily, weren't they?
Yeah.
But our big game is Tuesday, and I think we've got a chance. You've always got a chance, Derek.
Yeah, absolutely. I will touch on that a little bit later on, Alan. In terms of your career, of course, great careers as a physiotherapist. When you were growing up, Alan, though, but do you have aspirations like us all that you wanted to be a footballer?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yes, I played for Saltburn and my local town team, and school throughout, the district team, the area team, etc. And I signed schoolboy forms to Middlesbrough. It's before the days of academies.
Yeah.
Signed schoolboy forms at 14 years of age to play for Middlesbrough, and I was there until I fractured my leg. I fractured my right tibia and fibula at 17 years of age, and that's I was in hospital for a long time and operations and one thing and another, and that put the end to that. But the key to my career is a man called Jimmy Hedridge, who was the Middlesbrough Football Club physiotherapist, and Jimmy he not only treated my leg, he guided me towards a career in physiotherapy.
Yeah, wow,
which was fantastic.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it must have been heartbreaking for you at a young age to know your sort of playing career was over. But I guess you never let it get you down, Alan? Did you sort of look at a different path at that point?
Oh, I did, definitely. I followed Jimmy's pathway, yeah, and he was a great influence, a great person, very more than helpful. Yeah, marvellous.
Yeah. So you started off as a physio. Did you always want to work in football, Alan? Was that always a dream?
Oh yes, there was no question about it.
Yeah,
no question about it. And I finished up doing 32 years.
Yeah.
In physiotherapy and football.
Yeah, fantastic.
And I've still got my private practice now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
still working private practice.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. And was it what club did you start? Was it Blackpool you started out at?
No, my first job professionally was Darlington.
Yeah.
In the old 4th division with Frank Brennan. And my second club was Alan Brown took me to. No, sorry, I went to Rotherham United. Jim McInerney.
Yeah.
At Rotherham United. I did 5 years there, and then on to Blackpool with Alan Brown as manager.
Yeah.
That was for 6 years. Then Howard Wilkinson invited me to join Sheffield Wednesday. I was there for 11 years.
Yeah.
Which included getting into the top division, qualifying for Europe, 4 cup finals.
Yeah.
And generally a very, very successful period.
Yeah.
In fact, we beat Man United in the 1991 League Cup final, 1-0 to win the League Cup.
Yeah. It was
a highlight. Yeah.
It was a great time for the club. It's sad to see them, of course, just get relegated last season. It's sad.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah. What
terrible.
What have you made of them watching from afar, Alan? They're one of these sleeping giants, aren't they? They should be in the top league with the support in the stadium and all that.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, the support potentially can be between 30 and 40,000.
Yeah.
But it's potential now because it's going to drift off badly.
Yeah.
In the third division. The stadium itself has a capacity of about 35,000 now. It's a great stadium, yeah. Good facilities.
Yeah, they are. It's a shame to see their sort of demise. But when you were there, I mean, working with Howard to begin with, Alan, what was he like to work with?
Oh, excellent, yeah. Very, very good manager. Good coach, good manager. Very hard working. He expected the same level of hard work from his staff and his players, and he got it. And we became successful. When I joined them, they were in the second division, the old second division, and then after one season, we were in the first division.
Yeah,
it was a quick rise to the top level.
Yeah, absolutely was. It was a fantastic time, like you say. And I mean, some of the players they had there, cracking players, didn't they? That it must have been a lively dressing room as well, because I heard I've been read Mel Sterling's book, and some of the stuff that went on in the dressing room was a tad crazy.
Yeah, Mel was a great lad, a great player, England player.
Yeah.
Won the UEFA Cup with England under 21s. He was a full international, and he was a tremendous lad, tremendous personality.
Yeah, he certainly was. And you mentioned that England side, of course, at that point, the under 21s. What a cracking side they had. The likes of, I've read before, they had the likes of Mark Hateley and all that when he was just coming through. How good was he, Alan?
Very good. Mark, very good. Mark Hateley, Mark Chamberlain.
Yeah,
a lot of very, very good players. Yeah, very good players. Very good team.
Yeah, and
great manager, Dave Sexton.
Yeah, right enough. Yeah,
it
was cracking. Like I said, we had Ian Knight on recently, and he was talking about his that terrible challenge he suffered in that FA Cup game against Chester that pretty much ruled him out. And he says he became like a second father to him in terms of his recovery. Can you remember much about that incident at all, Alan?
I'll never ever forget it. It's shocking.
Yeah,
it's the type of thing you never ever forget.
Yeah,
shocking, over the top tackle, and Ian, in his innocence, put his foot in for a genuine, honest tackle.
Yeah,
and the Chester player went over the top of the ball at pace.
Yeah,
and it fractured his legs. He had 7 fractures.
Yeah,
and it was compound.
Yeah,
and had to be so very, very careful on the pitch. And he got very good attention off the pitch in the hospitals, and then we started his long rehabilitation back at the ground when we were allowed to.
Yeah. Was that one of the worst challenges you've seen during your time in the game, Alan? That sort of, it was so horrific.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. Not nice to see at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
It's one of those situations where straight away it's a serious injury.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Yeah, I mind the referees that still played on. I guess you must have been itching to get on and treat him. It was crazy how he just played on at the time.
I think, if my memory serves me correctly, I went straight on.
Yeah, and
the players were telling the ref to stop the game.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
it was that bad.
Yeah,
and I got the stretcher on, and the ambulance lads, and we got his leg immobilised.
Yeah,
and onto the stretcher and away to hospital. Yeah, very serious.
Yeah. Do you think? I mean, he was a promising player at that point, Alan. Do you think? He would get capped by England under 21s. Do you think he would have gone on and represented England and all that?
Oh yeah, I think he'd have been a full international. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yes, he was under 21 international. We signed him from Barnsley.
Yeah.
He was a young lad. He's only young at the time, and he played in the first team, and he was doing very, very, very well.
Yeah.
And this was a first team game when he got the fracture, and very, very, very sad. But what a great person, great professional, Ian, great professional, not only a great player, he was a top class person.
Yeah.
And we were dedicated to his recovery.
Yeah.
The two of us working together with the doctor and the specialist.
Yeah.
And ultimately, we got him back on his feet.
Yeah. See, when he mentions things like he became his second dad, I guess that as part as a physio, I guess that's must be humbling to know that you care for these players and you try and do their best to try and get them back, not only on the pitch, but the lifestyle back.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it is very satisfying. Very satisfying job in total. You know, you're helping a young person piece together their career.
Yeah.
And Ian was a prime example of hard work, dedication, commitment.
Yeah.
And I was there to support him.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
Giving him his sorry.
Yeah, no, carry on.
You're giving him his treatment and his exercises, and we're working in the gym every day.
Yeah.
And I used to collect him from his home and take him home after he'd finished his work.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a good relationship, good professional relationship, and I understand he's doing very well now, isn't he? He's in Canada.
Yeah, he's in Canada doing the coaching. Yeah, he's well thought of over there. So he's went down that coaching path, and good on him.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you've spoken to him.
Yeah, we had him on a couple of weeks ago, so he's doing well. So, like you said, he mentioned yourself and the attention to detail and how much you cared for him. So he was really appreciative of that.
Yeah, well, I appreciate his words, and I return his words in his direction. He was an excellent professional, an excellent patient, and he got a very good result out of a shocking injury.
Yeah. Being a physio as well, Alan, you're renowned for your speed and getting on the pitch to attend to players. Was that always something you always paid attention to the game just to make sure that you were ready on your toes if anything were to happen?
Well, I think I was always quick. I mean, as a player, as a young lad, as a player, I was always speedy. I could run, and it's just built into you, isn't it? You're born with it, natural ability.
Yeah. And
I just carried it on.
Yeah.
But people did take note of it, I must admit. I took it for granted, but other people, I must have been quick because other people used to comment.
That's brilliant. And another incident that the Wednesday fans is quite memorable for them was the Paul Warhurst one as well, when he went down in that game in the UEFA Cup.
Yes.
What was that like? A scary moment for Paul, but you were attentive and you managed to clear his airways and managed to save him pretty much.
Well, yeah, very much so. What happened was a cross from the left, an in-swinging cross from the left, and Paul scored a header.
Yeah. So
the game's dead. But as the goalkeeper comes off his line to punch the ball clear, Ian's already a fraction of a second, as it always is, beats him to the ball and scores with the header. But he's punched him. The goalkeeper punched Ian in the head.
Yeah.
And he was knocked unconscious in mid-air. I could see from exactly what had happened. And finished up as he's landed flat on his back. That's the worst thing that can happen.
Yeah.
So I didn't wait for the referee. The game was dead. I went straight on the pitch.
Yeah.
And dealt with him accordingly and got him into the recovery position. And the ambulance lads took him away into the dressing rooms for the doctors to see him. He went to hospital. He was in hospital for a few weeks and had the necessary x-rays and scans. But he made a great recovery.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. Well, good lad. He was a good lad.
Yeah, we touched on working with Howard. You also worked with a number of other notable managers, Alan. Big Ron Atkinson. What was he like?
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, yeah, brilliant. A people's person.
Yeah,
at the highest level. Nice man, good to get on with, good to work with, good fun.
Yeah.
Very highly disciplined and professional, but you could have a laugh with Ron. He was great, yeah. Smashing.
Yeah. And of course, under Trevor Francis, it enjoyed a bit of success as well. I mean, everyone remembers the 91, 92 and all that sort of campaign, the great players in football that they were playing. Happy memories then?
Well, it was an achievement to get to cup final.
Yeah.
But we didn't win anything.
Yeah.
You know, it's winning's very, very important, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Ron Atkinson was manager when we won the cup.
Yeah.
And Trevor was manager when we played in the League Cup final and the FA Cup final.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, winning's everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like these Euros now.
Yeah.
You know, the winning is everything.
Yeah. In terms of players at Wednesday, Alan, at that point, was there any that stood out? Have been cracking players? I mean, everyone thinks of Chris Waddle, of course, but how good was he? And was there any others that were true brilliant talents?
Oh yeah, I mean the side that at the time, I mean, great goalkeeper. This is the team that won the cup.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Turning goal.
Yeah.
Excellent goalkeeper. Roland Nielsen was a Swedish international.
Yeah.
Nigel Worthington was a Northern Ireland international.
Yeah.
Two international. Both played in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Two international fullbacks.
Yeah.
That's some going, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
A midfield of Johnny Harkes, who was an American international.
Yeah.
Carlton Palmer, England.
Yeah.
John Sheridan, Republic of Ireland. Some going, that, isn't it?
Certainly.
And Chris Waddle on the left, ultimately. But he didn't play in the cup final when we won it.
Yeah.
David Hirsch was an England international.
Yeah, cracking player.
So, there's quite a sprinkling of high-quality people.
Yeah. And, of course, Nigel Pearson was a captain on the cup final. How good was he?
Yeah, a very good captain.
Yeah.
Yeah, solid, reliable centre-half and a good captain, yes.
Yeah.
I think Des Walker played centre-half for a while. Good all-round outfit, yeah.
Yeah, he's absolutely fantastic, yeah. Of course, the Steel City Derby is renowned as being quite fierce. Can you remember working at those games, and did you get a bit of stick at all from the opposition? You do. I've got a funny story for you, Derek. Whereby we're playing at Bramall Lane, and Chris Waddle goes over to take a corner, and every time he went over to take a corner, the Wednesday fans bowed to Chris. Chris would take the corner, the game would go on. So he took maybe half a dozen corners the first half. Second half, we change ends. So we're kicking towards the Bramall Lane Cup. And Chris went on one of his major dribbles and had a shot at goal. It went over the bar. And all the United fans bowed to him. Well, it was there's thousands of people doing the same thing. How they rehearsed. Well, they didn't rehearse it. I mean, it's just instinct. But it was so fun to see how Derek French, the United physio, and I was sat on the opposite benches, of course, on the end of the opposite benches. We both looked at each other. We burst out laughing. Yeah, that was a brilliant moment. That, yeah. So there's good humour. Yeah,
there's good humour, but fierce competition.
Yeah, you like that. You like that. That's all part of the game.
It is. It is.
With regards to England, Alan, of course, you worked full time at Euro 96, which we'll touch on. But before that, did you work a little bit with Sir Bobby before that?
Yes. He selected me to be England physio for one game against Russia in Tbilisi. That was 1986.
Uh-huh.
And then I did 4 games with Sir Bobby in 1988.
Yeah.
And then I was appointed full time in the January of '94 by Terry Venables.
What was Sir Bobby like? We've had players on before that played for him, and he says he's one of the most caring guys, but so dedicated to the game. He loved the games. What was he like?
Marvellous.
Yeah.
Marvellous person, yeah. Great person.
Yeah.
And a great manager.
Yeah.
I would agree with that comment. Very caring about people, yes.
Yeah, that's what
he looked after his staff.
Yeah.
He looked after his players. He was very well liked.
Yeah.
Popular man.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking when he died.
Oh God, I know.
I mean, he invited me to go up to Newcastle to be physio to England against Germany for his charity match at St James's Park. And it was heartbreaking to see him in a wheelchair. That was only a week before he died. And it was very, very sad. But a great person, really, truly great person.
Yeah, he was one of a kind. We fast forward then to, like you say, to '94, and Terry Venables brings you in full time. But I was reading before that we offered the chance to go to Glasgow Rangers. Was that on the table for you?
Oh yes, are you a Glaswegian?
I am. Yes. I'm a Rangers fan.
Very good, Derek. No, I received an invitation from Walter Smith to go and have a chat with him.
Yeah.
And I went up to Glasgow, to Ibrox, and had an interview with him. He was a smashing person.
Yeah.
And Archie Knox was the assistant manager. Dr. Cruikshank was the club doctor.
Yeah.
And it went well, and I enjoyed this marvelous stadium.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible stadium, Ibrox. But at the same time, I get the England job. Well, you can't turn the England job down.
Yeah.
And he understood that. So I accepted. I turned Rangers down in a very polite manner, of course, respectful manner, and took the England job with Terry.
Yeah, I think
never look back.
Yeah, you can't turn your national team down, but I guess was Walter understanding. I guess that
marvelous. Yeah, he was very good. Yeah, he was. To be fair, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, I guess England come calling, and Euro '96 is just round the corner as well, Alan. In terms of those years heading up to that tournament, what was the atmosphere like in the camp and stuff like that? Was it a joy, a pleasure to work with the players and the coaching staff?
Oh, totally, yeah. We had a great manager in Terry Venables. The coaching staff, Brian Robson and Don Howe.
Yeah.
They were two great people. And Dr. Crane, the England doctor, myself, Dave Butler, the physio, and the players. We had a great set of lads, great players, but great people.
Yeah.
And of course, in among that crowd, I was had the task of getting Alan Shearer fit for Euro '96.
Yeah,
he had a hernia operation, and that was my principal job, to get Alan fit for Euro '96.
Yeah.
And thankfully we managed it, and he won the Golden Boot Award. Yeah,
he was great. You feel sort of added pressure with the hopes of the nation on that, Alan, with regards to that and getting them fighting fit?
A lot of people ask me that, yeah. Not really, no. I mean, to be perfectly frank with you, I didn't read the papers.
Yeah.
I set my stall out not to get involved with the press and reading papers.
Yeah.
And just concentrated on the person. And I used to say to them, look, there's just me and you. Let's get on with it. Let's do the exercise. Let's get fit for Euro '96. And Alan was another very dedicated lad. Yeah. Worked hard, and a top-class player, of course, but again, another top-class patient.
Yeah.
And, we managed to get him fit in time, and he went on the trip to Hong Kong and China and played 45 minutes against Hong Kong, 45 minutes against China, and his first 90 minutes was against Switzerland. And he did it, became the goal. In fact, he scored against Switzerland. Yeah. Seven, I think he scored 7 goals in the tournament.
Yeah, he was terrific.
Fantastic. Yeah, marvellous.
You said he was like sort of the model patient. Did you ever get players, Alan, that wanted to hurry things along, and you sort of had to just tell them just to calm down a little bit and go through the process?
Well, every one of them, because they're all rushing to get back.
Yeah.
And sometimes you've got to put the reins on a little bit and just to hold them back and explain the situation to them and what they're doing and what they're not doing, etc., etc. Yeah. And you've got to be with them one-to-one every day. And as I was with Ian Knight and as I was with all the players, one-to-one, and guided them through it. And their work ethic was always very, very good. And ultimately you get the results. But it's a game of patience, hard work, but patience, and timing your progressions gradually.
Yeah. And of course, you mentioned Hong Kong. It was sort of notorious for dentist chair, which you would see against Scotland. I heard that little thing that Gazza planned that in your physio room. Is that right?
Yeah. Well, he was always the chairman of anything like that. Oh yeah, he was great. See, there you go. You got a great. This is the added advantage that we had. We had a world-class midfield player, arguably the best in the world at the time, and a comedian off the pitch. always in the centre, always the centre of attention.
Yeah,
telling stories and making people laugh. There'd be bursts of laughter in the hotel, and the Gazza would be right in the middle of it. And he was a great lad. Yeah, great lad, Paul. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, great to have around.
Yeah, he certainly was. And on the field, he's we all know about. He had a terrific tournament, like you say, probably one of the best in the world at that point. And his goal against Scotland, everyone remembers. You would have had one of the best seats in the house watching that, Alan. How good?
Oh yeah, it did. Yeah, very, very, very good. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how he saw Colin come across the pitch.
Yeah,
Colin Henry, but he's lifted the ball over his head, as you've seen, with his left foot, and then volleys the ball past Andy Gorham with his right foot.
Yeah,
at pace. He's done that at pace.
Unreal.
Well, that takes from doing that. Yeah. Dear, oh dear.
And when you seen the celebration, did you get a little chuckle out of that, knowing where
it came from? Well, yeah. Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. Yeah, he had it all weighed up. His scream, honestly.
Of course, it was a terrific tournament for England. Everyone remembers it well. What was it like? Did you feel pressure, you and the manager and the players, heading into that Germany game as well? Did you feel pressure? Was it quite relaxed, Alan?
Quite relaxed. Yeah. And that was cultivated by Terry.
Yeah.
He was a very good manager.
Yeah.
And quite relaxed, and everything went well. The preparations were good, and as you've seen many times, Derek, I'm sure, drawing after 90 minutes and drawing after extra time.
Yeah.
And then it goes to penalties.
Yeah.
Doesn't get any closer.
No.
I was watching it the other night, a replay of it all, and Darren Anderson hit the post.
Yeah.
With a right foot shot. It bounces off the post straight into the goalkeeper's hands.
Yeah, seen it, yeah.
Can you remember that?
Yeah.
And obviously, the incident when Gazza slid in.
Yeah.
He said to me the ball touched his studs. I mean, it just doesn't come any closer, does it?
I know.
It just needed half a touch and it was in.
Yeah.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Do you think you win that game, Alan? Do you think you go on and win the tournament, you reckon?
Yes, definitely, yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah, I really do, yeah. Yeah. Would have won that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, penalties can be a lottery at times. Gareth was unfortunate to miss the crucial one. Can you remember what he was like afterwards? Was he inconsolable, I'd imagine?
Well, everybody was upset. It was a sad moment. Yeah, it was a very, very sad and emotional time. But it's one of those things. It's football. You've got to get over it and get on with it.
Yeah, and of course, Gareth now taking charge of the team. He's done so for a number of years. Could you see him becoming a manager back then, Alan? Could you see him?
Oh yes. Oh yeah, definitely. Gareth as a player was mature, sensible, intelligent person, highly professional, very good player, of course, but yeah, absolutely top class.
Yeah,
as a person.
Yeah,
and when you see him interviewed now, that's the way he is. He was like that as a player.
Yeah, that's
exactly the way he is.
Yeah,
he was very immaculate in his speaking, and yeah, a very, very good Gareth.
Yeah, of course you'd stay with England. Were you sad to see Terry go? But at the time, of course, he was replaced by Glenn Hoddle.
Yes, I was sad to see him go. I think everybody was.
Yeah,
because we had such a good thing going. We were so close. We could have gone on and challenged for the World Cup under Terry, but it was business concerns that he was tied up with. And so he vacated the job, and Glenn took over.
Yeah.
And Terry went and had to do his business.
Yeah.
Glenn was it? Sorry.
Yes. Sorry. Carry on. Yeah.
Glenn was a good lad. He was a good manager, great player, and he was smashing. We went to France in the World Cup, and Gazza didn't go on that day. He wasn't selected, was he?
Yeah.
Paul Scholes came in then, he scored a goal against Tunisia in his first game for England in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a great player.
Yeah.
Mike
Malone, of course, burst on the scene as well. Alan, can you remember what he was like as a young boy? Everybody remembers that goal against Argentina.
Yeah, he's smashing lad. Yeah, nice lad.
Yeah.
Very, very, very sensible, easy to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, good person, Michael. Yes.
Yeah. David Beckham, of course, remembered for that tournament. I mean, he scored a brilliant, I think it was against Colombia or something like that. He scored a brilliant free kick. And then, unfortunately, he's remembered not in the best of lights for the sending off against Argentina. Can you remember much about that game and the aftermath of that, Alan?
Well, he kicked out at the lad, didn't he? And I think, to be honest, I think the Argentinian player made a meal of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And the referee took it, and sent David. We were always very, very surprised he sent him off. But he did do so. David's got to deal with that, and we've got to deal with it and look after him and get him over the emotion of that. Yeah. Again, it's man management.
I guess you would have worked with David, wouldn't you? You had a couple of injuries, a little niggles. So I remember the metatarsal that he had, I'm sure. Did you work with him to get him ready? Was it the 2002 World Cup?
Yeah. Again, good professional, very dedicated lad.
Yeah.
They all are, these people.
Yeah.
In their own way, they're very, very dedicated people, because they all start at the bottom.
Yeah.
And they're now at the top when they're with England.
Yeah.
But everybody starts at the bottom. Nobody starts at the top. Yeah. And they appreciate what they've got.
Yeah.
And David was very, very highly motivated person.
Yeah.
And he built his rehabilitation situation up nicely, had a fitness test, trained with the lads. And I think he played in every game, didn't he? Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
He played in every game in the World Cup finals, yeah. Scored the penalty against Argentina.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic, yeah.
Yeah.
That's some pressure, that, by the way.
Yeah, I remember.
Taking a penalty against Argentina in the World Cup finals.
Yeah.
But that's his temperament.
Yeah.
You know, he's got that in his locker.
Yeah.
Yeah, marvellous.
Yeah, but before that competition, of course, England didn't do so good at Euro 2000. Kevin Keegan was in charge by that point, Alan. Did you enjoy working with Kevin? An emotional guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, an emotional person, yeah. Oh, yeah, great lad, Kevin Keegan.
Yeah.
And Arthur Cox is his assistant.
Uh-huh.
Two great people. Derek Fazackley. We had a good backroom staff.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, after the Germany game, Wembley were beaten. And I was sat next to him on the bench and got changed next to him. And then all of a sudden he was talking to players after the match. And he just came out with it. He said, I'm resigning.
Yeah.
So Arthur Cox said, Kevin, give it time. Think about it. He said, I've thought about it, Arthur. I'm finished today. And that was how it became world news.
Yeah.
Disappointing because he was a nice bloke, Kevin.
Yeah, well, that was the Wembley game, wasn't it? The 1-0, I think, Jim.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, a man scored, didn't he? Yeah. It's a great shame, yeah.
Yeah, and of course, Sven takes over from a foreign coach for the first time. Alan, was he a bit different to work with from what you were used to before?
Yeah, totally. Yes, Sven was the English managers were always hands-on. They were on the pitch with the players, taking the sessions. All of them. Terry, everybody were coaches, teachers, organisers of the, from top to bottom.
Uh-huh.
Whereas Sven was more, he worked on the fringe. He had people, he had Sammy Lee, Steve McLaren doing the coaching.
Yeah.
He would be telling them what he was looking for, of course, because he had a meeting with them every day.
Yeah.
But then he'd be watching Ray Clements work with the goalkeepers, and then me working with the injured players, and he'd get people together and have a meeting, and get all the information he needed regarding progressions and what had been done, etc., etc. It was just a different way of doing it altogether. Yeah. He was a nice man. He was a good bloke. Good bloke to work with. Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah. And of course,
but definitely different. Yeah.
Not half. That tournament, of course, we touched on that. Beckham's goal against Argentina. England would go out against Brazil. Again, who would go on to win the competition? Of course, memories of that game, Alan. It was one of those ones. It was very tight, wasn't it? There was not much between the teams, to be honest.
No, not at all. No, it was very close. We opened the score. We were beating them 1-0, weren't we? We were winning for half an hour.
Yeah.
And Michael scored the goal, and took his chance very, very well indeed.
Yeah.
We're winning 1-0 and playing well.
Yeah.
And the Brazilians were getting a bit ratty about it, and they were. It got a bit physical at one point, and then they equalised just before half time.
Yeah.
And then scored shortly after the start of the second half. Yeah. And they ultimately hung on and won the game 2-1.
Yeah.
That was the quarter-final of the World Cup.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's one of those. If you beat Brazil, who were they were the best team in the competition, it sort of opens up for you. I can remember South Korea getting to the semi-finals that year and what have you as well. So it was very few shocks that year.
Oh yeah, the World Cup is something different again, isn't it? You've got to beat Brazil at some point.
Yeah, yeah.
You've got to beat Brazil, and they were a superb team with the very, very best players.
Yeah.
And you've got to beat them at some point, whether it's the final, quarter-final, earlier rounds, whatever. You've got to beat them.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, you'd have worked with other great players at the time at England. Steven Gerrard, what was he like, Alan?
Oh, great. Yeah, good lad.
Yeah.
Manager of Rangers.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Manager of Rangers, Stephen. Yes. Yeah, smashing lad. Yeah, great lad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Stephen.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very good.
Yeah.
And there's a comedian that takes his voice off, isn't there?
Yeah.
Which is absolutely hilarious. I think it's a conversation between Jamie and Mr. Carragher. Jamie Carragher, Steven Gerrard in conversation. Absolutely hilarious. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah,
he was a nice lad.
Boy. Yeah, he's really good.
Sorry?
He's really good, that boy. I think it's Darren Farley or something, I think his name is. But
that's him, yeah. That's him.
Yes, he's cracking. See that team back then, I mean, they call it the golden generation, of course, the England players. Such a tremendous team. I know it's difficult to win a major competition, but they had the players, didn't they, Alan, to win a tournament, a Euros or a World Cup, that team?
Oh, yes. I mean, very, very much so. I mean, they had the players, the manager, the staff. The whole thing was absolutely bang on. But so was everybody else.
Yeah.
And you're playing against the best in the world.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely fractional.
Yeah, it is.
These score lines that we're mentioning. There was an exceptional one last night with the Wales getting beat 4-0. But generally speaking, there's a 1 goal difference.
Yeah.
Generally speaking. And you've got it's the rub of the green, ability, skill, dedication, commitment to it, and the rub of the green is absolutely fractional.
Yeah.
And I just hope that on Tuesday night, England have that fraction going in their favour.
Yeah. Yeah, I do fancy them. I don't think this German team are a vintage side, but they still get some cracking players, right enough. So it's going to be. I think it's going to be close. That's for sure. You just hope it's not going to go to penalties again.
Yeah, I know exactly. Yes, yeah, that is nerve-wracking. But no, we'll wait and see. I mean, there's as in all of these games, we've got the potential to win.
Yeah.
We've got to fulfil that potential.
Absolutely. Am I right in thinking that 2002 was that your last tournament you worked at, Alan, with England?
Yes, the World Cup in Japan.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 World Cups, 2 European Championships.
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
What did you do after? What did you go and do after that?
Well, private practice.
Oh, yeah, in Rotherham, the one you're at now?
In Wickersley, yeah. I'd pre-organised that I would be going into private practice after the World Cup.
Yeah.
I wanted to finish at the top level.
Yeah.
The very, very highest level.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't get any better than that.
No, it certainly does not.
And, I felt comfortable in doing so. I'd been in the game 32 years.
Uh-huh.
And I've enjoyed working in private practice ever since. And I now work with my son, Paul.
Yeah.
Who's a good lad and a good physio, and people like him, and we have a nice setup at Wickersley. Yes, nice clinic.
Yeah, fantastic. And we talk to players that retire, and I often ask them if they miss the game. They don't necessarily miss the playing, but they miss the sort of banter in the dressing room and what have you. Did you initially miss that, Alan, or were you quite happy to be away from it all?
Well, yeah, I suppose to a certain extent you miss it. But the important thing that I wanted to do was make sure that I had a structure to my life
Yeah.
and a purpose in my life. And this is where some players miss out. This is where the alcohol can come in. You know, you've got to have a structure to your life.
Yeah.
And I think to have a purpose is important. And my private practice gives me that. I'm meeting people every day. I'm helping people every day, which is in my nature. I like doing that.
Yeah.
And it's a very, very fulfilling job.
Yeah.
It is a very satisfying job. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd imagine it would be. And finally, then, Alan, is if maybe people want to find you and find your practice, if they need treatment or anything like that, how do they go about doing so, contacting you?
Yeah, well, there's a telephone number of 01709 544 661.
Yeah.
Which is my practice number. That's the best one.
Yeah. And
yeah.
Any plans to get plans just to keep going, but with the physio, you obviously love what you're doing, Alan, I guess. So it's just keep doing what you're doing.
Keep going as long as I possibly can. I mean, I think what might happen next, Derek, is that I reduce my hours.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I'll be reducing my hours possibly sometime in the future. Yeah. Paul will tell me when. Yeah, that would be the next move.
Yeah.
But to finish completely, I think it's a big move in your life.
Yeah, yeah.
A bigger move than you imagine.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you've got to fill your life with, what I've said earlier, the structure and etc. etc.
Yeah.
Being with people every day and helping them with their injuries is the best thing in the world.
Absolutely.
For getting people better, getting them back on the feet.
Yeah.
I really do enjoy that.
Yeah. And I was going to ask, Alan, if there's any maybe young physios coming through or want to enter the trade, is there any words of advice you would give them, having worked in it for so long?
Well, work hard.
Yeah.
Be dedicated to it. And you won't regret that commitment at all.
Yeah.
Because it's a marvellous job. Best in the world.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And if you're a sports person, there's lots of opportunities in sport.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I had the added advantage of having a man like Jimmy Hedridge, who was so inspirational.
Uh-huh.
He was a man. I was very, very fortunate there.
Yeah. Because
he guided me.
Yeah.
He guided me. I'm only 18 at the time, and he was there to pass his knowledge on to me, and his experience, his skills. Yeah. He used to allow me to go into Ayresome Park, which is Middlesbrough's ground time.
Yeah.
And watch him work.
Wow.
How good was that? I mean, he was a first division physiotherapist, highly experienced man, and he was allowing me. He was sit in the corner of the treatment room and take notes.
Yeah.
And when he was treating the first team players,
it's valuable.
Fantastic, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Never forget him for that.
Yeah, yeah. These guys are invaluable, aren't they? In terms of pursuing your career and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. To have a person like that, I think he's a massive, massive help.
Yeah, yeah. Fantastic.
I've met one or two along the way.
Yeah.
Professor Frank O'Gorman at Sheffield, the Northern General Sheffield. He was an inspirational type of person.
Yeah.
He was a great man. Yeah, marvellous.
Yeah. Fantastic. Excellent. Well, Alan, that'll do us there. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you and hearing about your career. It's certainly been colourful, that's for sure. So thanks very much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much indeed, Derek.